Ciao Alberto, ciao amici di BRG Radio, sono Silvana, sono qua a Dublino in una meravigliosa giornata di pioggia, come vedrete poi dal video, e sto per intervistare il fondatore della band Hooligan e il bassista che li ha raggiunti, si è unito solo 5 anni fa. Abbiamo quindi Dave, il fondatore.
Hello, how are you? Ciao.
Ciao, come stai, Owen?
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave. Hooligan. When did you start the band and which kind of music do you play?
We started in late 2009. We play punk with a strong rock influence. We recorded our first EP in the studio in there in October 2009, but I didn't find people that would go out and play gigs until July 2010, so band started in between October and July.
So in late 2000, how was the punk scene in Dublin in the late 2000?
Not too different than it is now. I mean, it was mainly around Fibber McGee's in Parnell Street, lots of bands playing there, and it's quite healthy, I think, lots of local bands. Lots of them are still going today, and there'd be gigs every month, and
so you mean that nowadays we still have many punk bands in Dublin?
yeah, I'd say there's a good dozen or so active punk bands who play regularly enough.
But when you say punk, which influences you would say that like in these punk bands, for example, and in the Hooligan, which punk bands would have influenced you guys?
Well, we'd be very much what's probably called an old school punk band.
This is why I'm asking, because I'm very curious. I mean, the radio listener cannot see you guys, but we are all of the same age, so we are not 20 years old.
No.
So when I think about punk, I think about...
We'd be influenced heavily by the 77 punk bands, but there'd be also a very strong rock influence. Bands like Tin Lizzy, AC/DC, that type of thing. So we'd be as much influenced by those bands as we are by the punk bands. And we wouldn't really be interested by that type of fast American hardcore punk that came out in the 80s, but a lot of the other Dublin bands would be into that, but it's an age thing as much as anything else,
Like, say some names? Name some bands that you would say that they influenced your music.
The first record I ever bought was by The Clash in 1978. The second Clash album, Give 'Em Enough Rope. So I still love and listen to The Clash today. So started with a good record.
And Owen, for you, is punk was your first love, or you started playing in other bands with other music?
I was probably a late starter when it came to punk. So basically I was playing with a friend, Paul Price, who's the drummer with Hooligan, in another covers band, and cut a long story short, he introduced me to Dave as a bass player. So that's how I got involved.
And as a bass player, who would be your influences?
Obviously Phil Lynott from Tin Lizzy, one of my heroes. That kind of style I love, so plus he's an iconic of Dublin, so yeah, he'd be one of my heroes.
So maybe we can start listening to one of your songs, guys. What would you like to let our Italian friends listen?
Put on No Blacks, No Irish, No Dogs, because it's one of our best known tunes, and they might like it.
I agree, because I remember many years ago when I came to Dublin, I saw a sticker on a post and it was no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. So I Googled it, and I found your band, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, this is real punk. And well, not the song is more, as you said, I noticed many influences by The Clash, and yeah, so let's listen to it.
Strong Clash influence, our attempt at reggae, but you know, the song, it is what it is, so hope you enjoy it.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Do you know anything about Italian punk bands, like
No.
old punk or?
I know the band Los Fastidios. Are they Italian?
They sound like Spanish.
Kind of ska, skinhead. They're
And
very good.
Have you ever toured in Italy or anyway abroad?
We've been all over Europe. Never in Italy. We've been to France, Germany loads of times. Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, England, all over the UK. We'd love to go to Italy if any.
Tour America as well.
Yeah, west coast of America. Love to go to Italy someday if there's anyone out there who's interested.
Let's see if the BRG radio listeners love your music. Maybe we can get you in our lovely Liguria.
Well, we can all travel again. Like nobody's going anywhere for the moment. But one of the great things, one of my favourite things about being in a band is being able to go to some of these amazing places and people that you meet.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And so, guys, are you investing this break of writing some new music, some new stuff for your next record? Are you planning something?
Yeah, we're hoping to do a record. It's called, and we're going to call it the Four Corners of Hell EP, after the place in the Liberties. It's where Mead Street, Francis Street, Dean Street and Nutter Street meet. There were 4 pubs there, and on every Saturday night when people would come out of the pubs, there used to be lots of punch-ups and things like that. So I think it got its nickname from that, you know. And a famous local Garda called Lugs Brannigan, who used to patrol the Liberties. He used to break up fights, but instead of giving people court dates, he used to give them a clip around the ear, or a box around the ear,
or a kick up the arse.
And yeah, he dispensed justice there and then. You know, he was a famous local character. He was much loved by some of the the streetwalkers and stuff, like the ladies of the night used to like him because of his no nonsense approach or something like that.
Cool. Yeah, I know that there is a pub now called the Four Corners there.
Okay.
Yeah, they often. Yeah, I was wondering why. So now I know why.
Yeah, right.
The Four Corners of Hell. So we have to wait for this new album.
Well, to be honest with you, lockdown has been a strange experience, and I was over in London a lot last year, and I was down in Leitrim a lot as well. So as a result, I haven't really written much. So I was thinking of doing. Do you know the group Metallica?
Yeah.
Well, they did a they did a thing years ago. It was called the Garage Days EP, where they just took 4 cover versions of bands that they liked, you know, kind of underground metal and punk bands, and they did their own version of these songs. And I think it'd be good to do something like that on our EP, just to get the blood circulating again, you know, because it's good to get into a studio and get warmed up and just, you know, not have to think too much about it. Just go for it, like. Do
Fantastic.
something spontaneous and creative.
Fantastic. Looking forward to listen to your new stuff, guys. And Owen, what's your favorite song of Hooligan?
It'd probably have to be Gang War.
Why?
I just like it because it's fast tempo, it's aggressive, it's about the kind of drug gangs that's happening in Dublin, so kind of, not that I can relate to it, but we understand it, you know, so we grew up with it. So for me, I think that's probably one of my favourites, yeah.
Cool. So we're going to listen to it now. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I have a question that Alberto, the radio program creator, wanted to make you guys to you because you are the songwriter.
Well, I'm not the
One
only
of the.
songwriter.
All right, okay.
We're still waiting
So-
for the rest of the lads.
It's too cold for them to arrive.
I going on the way.
So, well, Alberto wanted to know if living on an island has some sort of deep meaning also in your songs, in a way that being punk is traditionally something like being against something, or as we said about like the beat generation, counterculture. So, being stuck, let's say, on an island. Has any sort of meaning in your songs somehow, like this sort of isolation?
Well, yeah, I think it does. I think being stuck in an island, it informs everything that you do, because I think Britain, the United Kingdom, England, they're an island as well, and I think if you hear the English punk, it's very distinctive. It's totally different than punk. It's arguable if it started in New York or in London, but I mean the London version and the New York version would be quite different, And to answer his question, yeah, because bands didn't come here much to play, so you end up forming your own entertainment. There was never many gigs on in Dublin when I was growing up, so you find ways of entertaining yourself, and it probably makes you a bit resourceful, and you have to try. You had to when you went to London, you could buy all these records and clothes that you couldn't get in Dublin, so it made it really exciting, and yeah.
But in your songs, you write what's like you have some themes that are recurrent. Are you criticizing the society or something like this, or?
No, I think most Hooligan songs are more we've more in common with a good time rock and roll band than complaining about things. I used to be very political as a teenager. I was fanatical about the band Crass, the English anarchist punk band, but when I got into my late 20s, I kind of mellowed out from a lot of the political stuff, because you see the same kind of thing happening again and again, and it doesn't really change. You can change yourself. It's easier to change yourself than to change the world. When I was a teenager, I wanted to change the world, but now I'm more, more interested
in making good music.
Yeah, or being a good human being, or whatever, or meeting new people, that kind of thing.
Good. So I think it's already time we can.
What I would like to achieve, if the band could get on a stage and in front of total strangers who didn't know our music, and if we could create a strong enough musical atmosphere where people can actually enjoy themselves, and like the way I would react to a really good band, if we could do that, that's I'd be happy.
Hopefully next year, because now so guys, last question. I would love to talk to you for hours, because it's actually what we did before starting the interview. So now that you
just the island thing is interesting, because I only got into it as a late starter, but Jamaican music, I think the roots reggae of the 70s, they were an island, and it came from some strong place. I think it was ghetto music, and they had a big political situation there where people from the opposing political parties, they used to kill each other and stuff like that. So, and it's like the north of Ireland, Belfast. I think the best punk in this island comes from Belfast.
What's the name of the band?
Well, you have Stiff Little Fingers.
Deftones.
Deftones.
Do you mean the Dubtones? They're a good Dublin band, by the way. No, the Deftones are American.
No, Deftones. What's the name?
The Undertones.
Undertones.
Yeah. You had the Undertones from Derry. You had Stiff Little Fingers from Belfast. The Outcast from Belfast. Rudy from Belfast. They all made amazing, brilliant singles and albums. And they were living with a real situation up there, you know. I'd say being a punk up there was like 100 times harder than being one down here.
There's a great film about
Good Vibrations.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good, but it's a bit of a comedy, I think.
Yeah.
But it was far from a comedy up there in those days, you know.
Yeah, but it was a good way. I think it was a good way to make the film accessible to everybody without being too much.
Personally, I hate when you water down things, you know.
Ah, okay.
So I'd love to see the more the grittier. There was a good movie called Shell Shock Rock, which was a documentary made by John Davis in the 70s about the Belfast punk music scene. So I recommend anyone to. It might be online. I don't know. I have it at home on DVD. It's called Shell Shock Rock.
Cool. Thank you.
It features some of those Belfast bands that I was speaking about, and it was made at the time. And it's it's a documentary, so it's very real. And it's not a made up version.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So I think that unfortunately we have to finish the interview, to close the interview. So choose, guys, whoever, Owen or Dave, choose a
thanks to
song.
Owen for setting it up.
Yeah, and thanks to Silvana for having us. Cheers.
Oh, thanks to you guys, really. You're my first guests, and I'm honored.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that my brain is frozen here outside. So
Very cold.
what I want to say is just to choose a song, not one of your songs, but a song that you would like everybody in the world one day, at least once, to listen, because it's worthy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a song about Dublin. The only one that comes to mind, do you remember the one I shared with you the other day?
Yeah.
On the Miro. It's
yeah.
by a group called, there was a famous ballad group from Dublin called the Dubliners. They might be they might be still going. Two of the main fellas aren't with us anymore, but they have a song. It's called the Miro, Mero. But what I love about the song, I only recently discovered it. It mentions some of the Dublin characters who used to be around, like 40 Coats, and there was a fella called Bang Bang.
Bang Bang, yeah.
So they're mentioned in the song, and there was another guy called the Hairy Lemon, who I knew nothing about, but there's a pub up called the Hairy Lemon.
Yeah.
But he was a dog catcher in Dublin over 100 years ago. And it's great to relearn your own city through a song.
Yeah.
And the Dubliners were such an amazing group, and I'm only really starting to appreciate them now. So if they want to have a listen to that,
Great stuff. So we'll listen to this song. Thank you. So if you want to say bye to our
ciao Talia, thanks for having us on
BRG Radio,
BRG Radio, best station around.
Yeah, grazie Emilia, Italia.
Okay, I hope to see you in Italy, guys.
Yeah, I hope so too. In the Italian sun.
In the Italian sun, Italian Riviera.
Somebody under the bed, whoever can it be? I feel so very nervous, I call for Joanie. Joanie lights the candle, but there's nobody there. Hey, hi, diddly-eye, and out goes she. Skipping rope, still turning, children at their play. In and out of Clarendon Street, in and out to pray. I haven't prayed for 20 years or sung a happy song, since praying went with innocence and the devil played along. And we all went up to the Mero. Hey there, who is your man? It's only Johnny 40 Coats, sure he's a desperate man. Bang bang shoots the buses with his golden key. Hey hi diddly-eye, and out goes she. Me father was a stater, and me mother loved a tan. She loved her ham and her sausages, and her soldier fancy man. Nora's up in Jacobs, and Mary's on the town. And I joined the transport union when they said me nose was brown. And we all went up to the Mero. Hey there, who is your man? It's Alfie Burton out walking, sure he's a decent man. Bang bang shoots the buses with his golden key. Hey hi diddly-eye, and out goes she. I've a tanner for the marrow, and me compo money's hid. If Mary's in the family way, she can blame the Cisco kid. I be langers in the morning, me longers need a patch. Oh Jesus, there's Con Martin, I hope yous win the match. Me uncle had a wolfhound that never had to pee, but Harry Lemon snatched it down on Eden Quay. Now I have me primo, and me scapulars are blue, for helping the black babies and Dolly Fawcett too. And we all went up to the Marrow, hey there, who was your man? Spending being out walking, sure he's the ginger man. Bang bang shoots the buses with his golden key. Hey hi, into the eye, and out goes she. It's true that Dublin's changing since the pillar was blown down by the winds of violence that are buggering up the town. We used to solve a difference with a digging match and a jar, but now they're all playing bang bang, that's going too bleeding far. And we'll all go up to the Marrow, hey there, who's your man? It's only me guardian angel, get a large one for your man. There's no use bleeding Russian, sure now it's the holy hour, a plenary indulgence and another baby power.